Okay, so next on the list, number 46, Guard Breaker. Interesting move, this one. It's like an offensive shove, push type of move. Um, it doesn't do any damage. You know, even if it hits, it won't do any damage. What it's used for is to give you frame advantage. It'll give you frame advantage even if it's blocked. Okay, if it's blocked, you get 1 frame of advantage. So not a lot. So don't go crazy with your offense after it's blocked. Okay, because you've only got 1 frame. So you can't go for broke because you don't have that much of an advantage to go for really risky stuff. You know, it's a little bit of advantage. Um, I would say stick with pokes, like your down forward 1, or your down forward 4, or jabs, or sorry, my throat is really dry, or maybe a throw, um, but nothing that's too insane, you know. Um, just because the frame advantage is really minor on block. Now on hit, which is what's happening here, normal hit, you get 5 frames of advantage. So that's a bit better. 5 frames is decent. Still no damage, but against the wall, that 5 frames of advantage can be quite scary, because a lot of her wall splatting options become uninterruptible with that 5 frames of advantage. You know, the hit bump, good, is gonna hit if they try and attack. Um, so that's quite good. But I mean, the best thing about this move is without a doubt when it hits on counter hit. So let me turn counter hit on in the settings. Because so far we've gone from 1 frame of advantage on block to 5 frames of advantage on normal hit. But if you get this to counter hit, then the advantage goes up a lot. It goes up to 19 frames of advantage. Now, you can see that by the animation that your opponent is put into. Nina here is, you know, she's really... This move has really knocked her. I mean, the logic of it is kind of weird because it does no damage, so I don't know how how she's being so heavily stunned by this move that does no damage. That I don't kind of understand how that's possible, but that's what happens. She's put into a really heavy guard stun where she can't guard, she can't block for 19 frames. So what that means is that any move that's 19 frames or quicker, that's going to reach close the gap, is going to definitely hit. Okay, they're not going to be able to block it. It's going to combo. It's going to combo, but it's not going to be because down forward 1+2 doesn't do any damage. It'll be a combo, but the first damage will be from your follow up. If you understand what I mean. It won't be a combo of damage, but it will be a true combo because they won't be able to block your follow-up. So 19 frames of advantage on counter hit means that you've got a whole ton of options of what you want to do when this counter hits. Okay, so let's go over your follow-ups after a counter hit down forward 1+2. Your best option is definitely forward 3. So this move, because you get a full launch. If you land this after counter hit down forward 1+2, they can't block the forward 3. It will be a combo. But as you can see, okay, that was a combo. So that meant that, you know, that was a launch. That turns down forward 1+2 into technically a counter hit launcher, because if you land this and if you do forward forward 3 quick enough, they can't block the forward forward 3, so it's a launch. The problem with it is it requires you to be well, there are two real problems that I have with it. First of all, you need to buffer your forward forward motion into the recovery of this move. I mean, your opponent is put into a really heavy guard stun where they can't block, but Anna herself has recovery to using this move. Okay, using this move puts her, she needs time to recover after using this move, and that's what makes it a little bit tricky, because you can't just mash the forward forward 3. You can't mash the forward forward input. You'll get the knee, or you'll get something else. You'll get something wrong. So you have to wait and you have to time it so that you're buffering your first forward exactly as you recover from the animation of using the move. So that makes it tricky. And I mean, it's all well and fine here in practice mode, trying to land a forward forward 3 after a counter hit down forward 1+2, because that's all you're expecting. I've got counter hit turned on, so I know it's going to counter hit. My opponent is just a dummy, just standing there. I don't have anything else to worry about. I don't have anything else to think about. All I have to try and do is get this forward forward 3 to land. And I even can't do it now. Blocked. Landed it. So that's all I'm focusing on, is just getting that forward forward 3 to connect. And even in practice mode, I am screwing it up sometimes, more often than not. As I've said before, my execution is poor. It's not the best at all. So perhaps you might find it easier to land forward forward 3 consistently. I don't know. But for me, it's inconsistent enough that I don't use it. I'm telling you about it because you need to know what's the best option after this counter hit, because a successful forward forward 3, what that means is that it turns this move, this no damage move, into a counter hit launcher, technically, because if it's counter hit, you will be able to land a free forward forward 3, and there's nothing they can do about it. They will get launched. So that's really important to know. But just for myself, I tend to go for an easier option, because in the heat of a match, when there's a lot going on, your opponent is not going to be a dummy standing there, and you're not going to know 100% for sure that it's going to be a counter hit. If you throw this move out, you might be able to anticipate that it's going to be a counter hit. You might have a good read, and you might think, okay, this is going to counter hit, but you won't know for sure. I mean, you can't know for sure that it's going to counter hit. So what you have to do is visually confirm by the animation that your opponent is put into, whether it was blocked, whether it hit on normal hit, or whether it was a counter hit, and you can in fact go ahead and go for the forward forward 3, because you've got to remember that forward forward 3 is punishable. So if it's blocked, you could take damage. So you can't just do it all the time. You've got to confirm whether it's a counter hit. So that adds hesitation, and in the heat of a match, I just think it's difficult to pull off consistently, with all those variables, things that could happen. They could sidestep it. It can be sidestepped. So it's a lot different than in practice mode. That's what I'm saying. So the easy option that I tend to go for is the hip bump. Okay, forward 2+3. That's also unblockable after a counter hit down forward 1+2. Okay, combo. combo. Um, I mean, obviously it's a huge, huge downgrade in terms of damage because versus a full launch, 33 damage, um, you know, you're taking a big step down in terms of damage. But this is my strategy because I would rather take that 33 damage that I know I'm going to get. I know I'm going to be able to land that hit bump because the hit bump is 14 frames and you've got 19 frames where your opponent can't block. So you've got that extra 5 frames of sort of confirmation time, or where you can see how down forward 1+2 is hit. You know what's happened after you've used it. So that's why I like the hit bump, because even with hesitation, you're probably going to land it. And I would just rather take that damage. At least it's some damage. You know, it's a knockdown. It's a wall splat as well. So at the wall, it's just as good as forward 3. Well, at the wall, there's a lot that you can do that you don't have to worry about. You know, you definitely don't want to be using forward 3 at the wall when this counter hits. When this counter hits at the wall, you just want to go for, you know, your really easy mode wall splats. Be aware that at the wall, it's got this kind of a pushback factor, so you're pushed away quite a lot, even at the wall. So I think that forward 2-3, this move, I don't think this reaches at the wall. Let me try and check that because pretty sure you can't use that as a follow-up, even though it is 14 frames and you've got 19 frames. Wall hit, yeah. So down forward 1+2 on counter. Okay, no, it did connect. Whiffed there. Whiffed there. Yeah, I think it's it's no, it doesn't. No, I wouldn't use it. I would not use forward 2-3 as a follow-up to this move. This is what I was talking about when we went over her punishers, and when I said that forward 2-3 has range issues, which, you know, it doesn't look like it would because she steps forward and you think, okay, it's got good range, but it can sometimes, with pushback, it can miss. It did hit there. No, it's missing more often than it's hitting. So yeah, so that's the issue with forward 2-3, is the range issue. So the hit bump should always close that gap. Yeah, the hit bump should never whiff after this counter hit. So that's why I choose this as my preferred follow-up for a counter hit down forward 1+2. So that's actually a little bit more limited than I initially thought. I initially thought that you could land your forward 2-3 after this after this counter hit at the wall, but it seems like you can't. But that's okay. Hit bump is okay. It'll still wall splat. Another option that you can do is forward 4, imploding star. This move. This move is 19 frames, so it's exactly the speed of the guard stun that your opponent will have. So you have to be reasonably quick with forward 4 to get that to combo. Yeah, combo. It does wall splat as well, so that's not bad. But again, it's much easier than forward 3. There's no real execution issues or problems with forward 4 after counter hit down forward 1+2. You know, it's just a matter of being quick enough. But again, in a real match with hesitation and other things going on, I would not want to. Um, I wouldn't make that my follow up because there's no real benefit to it either because it's a little bit more damage. What is it? 37 versus the hit bump being 33, so 4 extra points. You know, is it really worth risking messing that up? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's worth that. So the moral of the story is probably just going to be stick with forward 2+3. It's your safest option. It's reliable, and have a practice in practice mode with getting your forward 3 to land after counter hit, down forward 1+2, and see how consistent you are. If you have a high level of success, then use it. Okay, so number 47 in Anna's move list is low jab rising kick. That's down 1 and neutral 4. So it's this kind of down jab into a kick. Obviously the down jab will high crush, so that's okay if you're poking and you think they're going to do a high. I suppose you could high crush with this. You need a counter hit for it to be a combo. Natural counter hit combo. It's not a natural combo on normal hit, so they can block the rising kick. It's okay, I suppose. I think its usefulness isn't great because if you're expecting a high, there are far better high crushers in Anna's move list than this, because the damage on counter hit, if it's a combo, so the damage is 20 if it's a counter hit combo, which is pretty bland. It's not amazing, and it doesn't give you a whole bunch of frames or anything like that. I think it might be neutral. So yeah, I don't really use it that much, but it's okay. Icicle, down 2. Now this is a bound move, although I don't use this as a bound in combos because Anna has better bounds that you can use. So I don't use this in combos, and to be honest with you, I don't really use it that much, just in open ground outside of combos. The reason for that, I think, is that it's very linear for starters. It's got poor range. It's not got the greatest range on it. So if you combine its not great range with its fact that it's very linear, that means that you're going to have this. This move is going to be evaded quite a lot. I mean, it's reasonably fast. It's 16 frames startup. It's a mid, you know, and Anna needs mids. You know, she doesn't have a lot of good mids. It forces crouch. You know, it forces your opponent into crouch. So that is good. I mean, that's helpful because it limits their options, what they can do, and it's got really good block frames. If it's blocked, it's only, I think it might be neutral or only -1. So that's good in terms of frames and the fact that they're in crouch. I suppose you can continue your offense after that, but it's not the best move. It's not the best mid to use. Okay, left spin, low kick to right uppercut. Now, this is a good move. Really good move. I mean, I really like it, and I use it quite a lot. It's a really consistent high crush. Okay, so it will definitely go under highs, you know, all the time. Great for that. Great for crushing highs. It's tag bufferable, as you can see, which is really good because Anna can sometimes struggle to take red life, you know, to achieve tag combos. So that's really good. It's fast. It's a low, and it's really fast low. It's 16 frames, so it's speedy, you know. Um, that combined with the fact that it's a high crush, that just really increases the chances that you're gonna get this attack to land. So fast startup. It's it's only a natural combo on counter hit. Okay, so the two of this string um, won't it won't launch unless the down three was a counter. And if the down three was a counter, then both hits will connect. Um, but if not, you can have the two blocked. Um, and if you have the two blocked, it's minus 13. So, it is punishable. It's not as punishable as it used to be. It used to be launch punishable. So it's been kind of buffed in this game. So that makes it a lot safer to just throw out, the fact that it's only a minus 13, you don't have to be scared of throwing this out as a high crush. It's a lot of reward, it's a full combo, it can be tagged, you can tag out of it. So for a minus 13 move, that's pretty good. It is it's got a lot of tracking to it. The low has got some tracking. Players like to sidestep against Anna quite a lot. It's a good tactic. She is vulnerable to sidestepping, and this can track them. They may be able to sidewalk the initial down three. They may get around that. But what I find is that even if they do avoid the down three, the two seems to realign her, or at least it seems to find its mark more often than not. So that's another plus, to keep in mind, that if people are sidestepping a lot and maybe doing a move out their sidestep, then that's a good way to get this attack to counter hit. So, good move. Okay, just while we're on topic of down 3-2, I just want to mention the fact that if the down 3 is blocked, okay, it doesn't stagger. It doesn't, if you're doing down 3-2, and the low is blocked, the 2 will still come out. The string won't be stopped in its tracks by having the low blocked, which is kind of useful sometimes. In terms of wake up. People sometimes are looking to block low, and sometimes they can be caught off guard. After they block the down 3. They kind of want to retaliate, and then they'll get launched if they try to. So that's something to keep in mind. The down 3 by itself is minus 16, I think, if you're just doing this down 3 low. It does leave you in full crouch, so that's risky. You do have the hesitation factor of your opponent probably knows that the down 3 can be followed by the 2, and you can get launched for that, so they may be a little bit hesitant, but this string doesn't have any delay to it. If it did, it would be really good if you could just sort of delay the 2, but you can't. It's just a simple input with no delay. So that makes it a little bit more tricky to go into full crouch from this, because if the low hits, it's minus 3, I think. So even with their hesitation about the follow-up 2, you're not in the strongest position. But once in a while, maybe go into full crouch like this, and maybe not do anything. Maybe just try and bait something out. Represent the full crouch mix-up without actually using it.